Hey guys, Miss Osuna here. Let's do a croquis pose. So start off with your oval and your lines. Make sure you have 9 heads at least. You can also do 10 heads, but I'll show 9 heads. If you choose to do 10 heads, just make sure you put your ankle at 9 and the toe at 10. So you're extending the leg itself from the hip area all the way down to number 9, and then the ankle starts at 9 and the toe finishes at 10. Otherwise, just do a typical 9 head. Next, we have our shoulder guideline, left side higher and the right side's lower, and the waist guideline, left side is lower. You can go on ahead and put your numbers in. Make sure that 3 is where that waist is. That's important, and 1.5 is where that shoulder is. Okay, go on ahead and parenthesis left for your neck. Then measure off 1 to 1.5. That's the width of your shoulder. So from the top of the head to 1.5, that's how wide that shoulder is. And drag down your shoulder slope slightly under that guideline, ending at your shoulder width. Next, measure the width of your waist. That's 1 headspace wide, probably 1 inch on your page, and mark that. Now draw a parenthesis facing right, and once again, so the torso parentheses face right, and then add your bust guideline at 2 1/4. It's parallel to the shoulder. Place your smile on the right side slightly to the right of the torso, and then add your smile for the left side. Now, go on ahead and parenthesis facing right for the right side of that bust, and then add the areola. When you drag that parenthesis facing right on the right side of that bust, drag it up to the shoulder. Next, place your crotch guideline at 4 1/4. That's the elongated crotch. It's parallel to the waist. Now, parenthesis from waist down facing left. It has a nice big curve. Now I went back in and narrowed the waist on the left, and now I'm going to make sure that I have 1.5 head spaces wide for my crotch. That's the same width as the shoulder. And find the center. Going ahead and frown over and then put a smile for the top of those bikini bottoms. Now find the center of the leg on the right. Come down and add your toe with a smile. This is the leg on the right, and the toe is going to be just a little bit lower than number 9, and put in your triangular lines that go back up to about 8 1/4-ish. So this leg on the right at the very top of our toe has that ankle socket, and drag that leg guideline straight down to the middle of that ankle socket. Now place your knee socket at 6, a nice good circle, and drag in the left side of your thigh and go around that knee socket, finishing on the bottom. Now go to the right side of that thigh, finishing high on the socket. Now parenthesis facing left, and then a short parenthesis facing left, followed by a parenthesis facing right that goes down to the ankle socket. Drag the other side down to that ankle socket as well. And there you have your first leg. You can add a triangle on the right side by the ankle socket. And then on the left side, add your triangle, and it faces the opposite way, and it's a little higher. Now for the next leg, find the center of that leg. This leg is going to cover the first leg. So drag a guideline down and put a socket slightly lower than number 6. So it starts at 6 and finishes at 6 1/4. So there's our guideline. And now the second part of the guideline from knee to ankle is going slightly left. So this leg is going to be to the left of our first leg. Now drag in your right side of your thigh, go around that kneecap. Remember, this is on top of the first leg, so you're finishing below that kneecap slightly. And then now drag in the left side of your thigh, and it finishes higher on the knee socket. I'm going to erase a little bit here so you can see those details. So leg number 2 is on top of leg number 1. Now we're going to go on ahead and draw the back of our calf. That's a parenthesis facing right. And the kneecap, it's a short parenthesis facing right. Then you drag that down towards your ankle socket. On the right side, that's a long parenthesis now facing the left. On the left side, that's a long parenthesis facing the right. Now we're getting ready to do our foot. So put your ankle socket in place. And this toe is longer, so go on ahead and drag down your diagonal lines with a smile. Just make it a little longer than the first. Now we're going to go on ahead and put in our details. So a triangle on the left side is lower, and then on the right side it's a little bit higher. They face each other, those triangles. And then add in a smile. It's like a half of a smile for your kneecap on the left, and on the right side define the back of that knee. Now we're going to go on ahead and get ready to work on the arms. On the right side, drag down a long parenthesis from the shoulder and let it hide behind the hip. Put in a frown for the elbow bend and a short parenthesis for under the elbow. On the left side, put your guideline in first. Put in an N shape for that shoulder and then start to drag that down. Now let's measure from 1.5 to 3. That's shoulder to waist / elbow. That tells you where to put that elbow socket on the left side. And then a frown in the middle. Draw in your guideline for the bottom of your arm and your long parenthesis, then measure from 3 to 4.25. That tells you where to put the wrist socket. Continue dragging those parenthesis shapes down. Now you're going to go on ahead and put in a parenthesis facing left for the beginning of your hand. Continue the parenthesis, but make it face the right. Now I'm going to smile up, going backward, and that's the bottom of your thumb. Next to the thumb, I'm going to add 2 short diagonal lines, upward and then left. At the wrist socket, I'm going to do a diagonal line from the wrist coming down. That's the first one. Another one coming straight down. That's the second. Now over to the thumb and add a diagonal line. From the fingertip, I'm going to go diagonally, slightly left, upward, and then I'm going to connect that open space with one last diagonal. Now we're going to move on and add some fingers. So I'm going to add a diagonal line that will represent the middle finger. That diagonal line is going to come from our index finger almost at the bottom and then smile back up. That's our middle finger. So now you have the illusion of fingers and a beautifully elegant hand. Thanks so much for watching Fashion Sketching with me, Miss Osuna. I'll see you on the next video.